Hi, I'm Karissma. I'm from paradise, but you know it as the Bahamas. I'm a journalist, so that makes me a storyteller. I like to have fun and see and do interesting things. I'm a world traveler. I'm a creator. I love seeing the pictures in my head come to life. I believe every interaction hides a story. It's just up to us to dig it out. Yup, that's me. I am Karissma.
On August 29th, Bahamians saw for the first time a documentary on transgender and intersex Bahamians. The documentary, which was written, produced, and directed by myself, sparked a much-needed conversation in this country. Take a look.
Pink shoes and sandcastles. He dreams of a girl who hides in his mother's closet. There, only he plays, no one's invited. There he is known as she. He, as they call her, rejects on the outside what she feels on the inside. Blinded, emotionless against her persecutors, she hides, and it slowly gets dark underneath.
In the Bahamas, a country where religious doctrine and culture strongly grips the fabric of our being, there are people who live among us, buried underneath what many call the truth, the way, and the light. The irony, though, is that what's underneath sometimes cannot always remain underneath. Just as weeds grow out through the cracks, there is a silent uprising of those who do not fit into society's box of either male or female. This phenomenon, while still buried outside of society's box, has existed for centuries in many countries. New Providence, a diverse, high-paced island in the Bahamas, is no stranger to the gay and lesbian movement, as in the last decade or so, more and more Bahamians, once afraid to face discrimination and violence, are coming out nonetheless.
No! Marriage is between a man and
Bahamians are pretty much familiar with the term LGBTI, thanks to local activists speaking up.
Because LGBT Bahamians are citizens.
But lesbian, gay, and bisexuals are usually as far as they understand on that list. But there are other groups on that spectrum we found that live among us in a very dark space underneath.
He wakes in the dark. He sees what others cannot. Trapped in the lock of society's box, no way out. He breathes and bleeds for freedom, for what it's worth. At least he can be she.
In inner-city Nassau, most teenage boys spend a lot of time on the basketball court. There, competitive in nature, they flex their masculinity and egos as they discover who they are. Basketball is not the only thing that goes down on inner city parks, though. It's a place that makes or breaks some youngsters, especially those who have trouble expressing the assumed male swagger.
You see, when Hubbard used to play back in the day,
Right.
better have your helmet on if you don't play no defense.
Right.
But you're getting crushed on
You
there.
gotta get down, protect your boy.
The basketball court was certainly not a place of leisure for Haitian Bahamian Alexia Alfred, who, in her own way, is championing the cause for transgender teens in her community.
Moi met yon noy nou, but moi mem jan nou.
Yvonne Sawyer represents a classic case that gender identity has nothing to do with a person's sexual orientation. Sawyer, also known as Vicky, is a transsexual woman who is a lesbian. Born male in Canada to a Bahamian father and a Canadian mother, the 58-year-old is considered to be the first transgender Bahamian to physically transition from one sex to another. She spent the majority of her life as a man, battling how she really felt inside until she could no longer bear it. Eventually, a troubled Sawyer would reveal herself to her then-girlfriend, who she eventually married and is still married to today after 29 years. Since her sex reassignment surgery, though, in 2011, Sawyer left the Bahamas for good, following numerous death threats.
I had to make up my mind that I was willing to die in order to live while I was in the Bahamas. And eventually I just had to move away.
Time stops when she can be he. Swag on fleek. A phenomenal man, phenomenally, her existence be. Underneath her soft skin, a roaring lion. She steps up like one of the guys. The mirror she sees will soon reflect the truth. While we will never know the answers to those questions, the fact remains, according to Alexis and the people interviewed for this documentary, that the LGBTI community is more than just HIV and AIDS. The fact also remains that healthcare for this community is paramount, as many transgender and intersex Bahamians are forced to do whatever they have to survive. While provisions exist to some extent on paper and through policy, the healthcare establishment in this country could go a long way in bringing this group of Bahamians from the shadows. Until then, most are forced to leave the country to receive the necessary medical assistance they need to live a healthy and comfortable life. Tones is one of the lucky ones to be able to afford the opportunity to live his true self.
Okay, Jones, this is the day, the big day. How do you feel?
Great. A little scared, but great. A bit disappointed that I have to leave to be who I want, but I'm excited. So it's a bit mixed feelings.
So, what's the first thing you're going to do when you get to Canada?
Probably have a drink.
the Afrocentric curriculum. So people would say, oh, that's the African school. We've become known as that. And the person say, well, that woman was born in Africa? No, right here in the heart of Fox Hill to the Davis-Ferguson clan.
It's a 5-year-old institution that's making waves deep in the heart of Fox Hill.
We have to be able to compete globally.
We offer a variety of different languages. In fact, we offer 6 different modern languages.
This week on the Bahamas Tonight, we take a deeper look at the school that's drawing a lot of attention for its unusual approach to education.
Here at Catherine, we're very open to our policy. We love questions.
She gets on with her homework and there's very little supervision is needed from us because she actually knows what she's doing.
We get the answers to the questions about this very special school that may easily become the model for the future. It's a 3-part series starting this Wednesday on the Bahamas Tonight.
It is so much a part. It's my life. And then I thought about going back even from when I was a child in Andros. This is what I grew up into. My parents did this kind of thing on the island, even in Andros. So this is like my life, all I knew about them, helping people, feeding, putting people to live in the home and everything.
They're the faces of compassion, wisdom, and comfort for the thousands of people they have helped over the last 3 decades. Their mission is service.
It's not a flashy ministry. It's not something that everybody would want to do, but it is something that somebody has to do.
I've come to find out that there is something special about the Hanschels that overflow to the people who work behind the scenes at the Great Commission Ministries and beyond. In a short space of time, it was evident to me that genuine love is rooted deeply.
I'm a part of Great Commission's Ministry on behalf of Faith House, and I came into the program and they assisted me when I needed help. So now I am here and putting in gratitude for my attitude and respect that God helping me, I want to help others.
Sometimes you could really tell if somebody needs something or not, but when you really know that that person really needs it and you are willing and in a position to help them, it really feels good. I really like being able to help.
Samuel Murray and Winston Ford are responsible for the organization's food pantry. Each day, they distribute an average of 12 grocery packages to those in need. But the needs don't stop there. The organization operates a clothing distribution center.
We don't count. We just let them go to the bin. Whatever they want, we allow them to carry it. When I see them living with a smile on their face, I say, well, he was a help to that person.
As we weaved through each department, we found out that this spirit of love and compassion is a magnet that somehow attracts people from near and far.
You know, people go out and drive around this country, but they don't actually see it. And there's probably 2/3 of the population on this island needs to eat better. They need to learn how to take care of themselves better. And we thought it was really important for our kids to see that.
There's no greater fulfillment to me than being a catalyst for information and change through storytelling. What you've just seen is some of the stories I hope to tell through film.